Hello everybody, my name is Kara, and today I'm here to do a book haul, but kind of with a twist. Today I thought it would be really fun to show the books that I'm planning to give my family this Christmas. I just thought this might be kind of a fun, not exactly gift-giving guide, but it might be a fun way to kind of like mix up the kind of books I usually show on my channel, because even though some of these are like definitely in line with my tastes, there's a couple things that are a little bit out of the ordinary for my channel, so I don't know, I just thought it might be kind of fun and interesting, and I get really excited about giving people books as presents. So whatever holiday you're shopping for, maybe this will give you some ideas or just show you some interesting things that I found. Also, I just forgot to mention I'm wearing my new bookish Christmas shirt. It says "Deck my shelves with books and holly," and I love it very much. I'll actually link the Etsy shop down below where I got it. This isn't like sponsored or anything, I just really love this shirt. I have also given my family strict instructions that they are not allowed to watch this video until after Christmas. I don't think it'll be a problem. Honestly, I'm not even sure like many of them keep up with my channel, which I understand, so I think we'll be safe. I'm gonna start with my brother. So the book that I'm going to be giving him is Mythlopedia, What a Beast. And this is part of a series. It looks like it's by Scholastic. And we had a couple of these when we were younger. We had the Gods one and the Goddesses one. I think one of them was called like Oh My Gods or something. And they were just really fun and also really informative. My brother and I have always shared a real interest in mythology, so I thought this would be kind of a fun like throwback and maybe have some new information. I don't know. He's pretty knowledgeable about mythology, so I'm not sure it's going to be like anything new. But I think it might be kind of fun, and these are written in a really entertaining style. Some of them are like almost like Facebook pages or something. Like you can see the formatting is like kind of colorful and bright and a little bit off the wall, so I think it's going to be fun, and it's going to be about some of the beasts from Greek mythology. For my sister, I'm going to be giving her The Bronte Cabinet, 3 Lives and 9 Objects by Deborah Lutz. This is a nonfiction book that's told in a really interesting format. As it says in the title, it's basically looking at the 3 Bronte sisters, so Anne, Charlotte, and Emily, and I think using 3 objects to sort of tell each of their life stories. So 9 objects total. I just think this sounds like such an interesting way to tell a biography. I feel like it's going to be more compelling and more readable, like a little bit more like a narrative nonfiction than I think some others. And my sister is really interested in the Brontes. She really loves Jane Eyre. And I think we've also both read some of Anne Bronte's poetry, I think. And she had mentioned that she might be kind of interested in learning more about the Brontes, and so I found this one, and it has really good reviews. It sounds super interesting, and it's also pretty short. I think it's about like 250 pages. Like this whole little chunk right here is notes and references. So I think this sounds like it could be a hit. Also, I forgot to mention, but a couple of these are like sort of joint family presents that we're all giving somebody. So not all of these are like strictly from me, but I'm kind of co-opting them to show them on my channel. So I actually have a few books that I'm going to be giving my mom. And the first one I actually picked out for her is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a visual history by, I can't find the author or the editor or whoever put this together. Oh, written by Melissa Wagner, Tim Leibarger, and Jenna McGugan, with a foreword by Tom Hanks. So I don't think this is connected to the movie that just came out with Tom Hanks in it. This is a really wonderful looking book about the history of the Mr. Rogers show and the characters, and just like, I love the way that this is formatted. And it's not really like a coffee table type book where it's like just a bunch of pictures, which not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like those aren't as suited to like reading, you know, like they're not really something that you sit down and read. But this one I feel like it really could be something like that, and my family has always been a big appreciator of Mr. Rogers, and especially my mom, so I had already picked this out for her. And then she happened to go see the new movie that came out with Tom Hanks, and she absolutely loved it. So as a family, we are also giving her A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Neighborly Words of Wisdom from Mr. Rogers. So this actually includes the article that sort of inspired the movie, and I think it also has some like quotations and some information about Mr. Rogers as a person and his life. And I love Mr. Rogers too, so I may be borrowing one or both of these from her at some point. But we thought that this would be kind of a fun addition now that she has seen and loved the movie. And then the last one I'm giving my mom was sort of like an impulse buy, and I don't even know how I'm gonna explain why I picked this out for her. And the reason I found it is because I got an email from Barnes & Noble talking about their book of the year, like click to see what our book of the year is. And I've gotten pretty disillusioned with book awards in general, both the fancy kind and the popular vote kind. So I didn't have high hopes, let's say, but I clicked on it and I'm like, what stupid book did they pick now? And it looked like really wonderful, actually. I'm sure you guys have seen it around now, and it is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy, I think. And this just looks like a really lovely story, and when I looked up reviews for it, like this has glowing reviews, and people are talking about how like inspiring and warm and comforting this is, and how it's the kind of book that makes you remember there are good things in the world. And my mom really likes inspiring stories like that. I mean, both of us do. And I think that's something that honestly we could all use right now. And there's like these really interesting like illustration styles. Like some of them are in color and then a lot of them are sketches in black and white. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is the font. While it's very pretty, I'm a little bit worried it's going to be hard to read. Like even when I was flipping through it, it was taking me longer to read than obviously most normal text would, but hopefully it's not too much of a distraction, and it's a very like short book and everything, and I just think this sounded lovely, so this was like an impulse buy, and it just made me think of my mom for some reason, so hopefully she likes that. Next we have my dad, and the first book I picked out for him is Face to Face with Manatees by Brian Scarry. This is a National Geographic book, and I think this is actually intended for kids, but when I looked at reviews for it, like one of the first reviews was from somebody who said that they got it for someone who is not a kid who just really loves manatees, and they loved it. So I don't know, I guess I took that endorsement very seriously. My dad is a huge fan of manatees. They're like his favorite animal, and they are very cool creatures. If you guys haven't checked them out, manatees are pretty wonderful, and their preservation and conservation is extremely important. So I would definitely recommend learning more about them because they are just fascinating creatures and just like so funny looking and cute. Like the baby manatees are just adorable, and so this is just a book about about manatees and their characteristics, and probably about conservation efforts as well. I've gotten him a couple manatee things over the years. Actually, one year I got him a manatee calendar, I think, and it was one of his favorite things I think that I've gotten him. So I hope this one will be a hit as well. And I have one other book for my dad, and that is Red Shirts by John Scalzi. This is a science fiction book I have actually heard a little bit about on BookTube, and it just sounded like something my dad would really enjoy. He's really big into sci-fi. It's his favorite genre, or one of his favorite genres. And he's also always been a big Star Trek fan. And apparently there was like this running joke on Star Trek that everyone who was wearing a red shirt like inevitably died. Like they were like the expendable extras, and fans of the show noticed that, and it kind of became this like funny thing where it's like if you're wearing a red shirt, like you know the character's not gonna last, so don't get attached to them. And I think from what I've heard, this is sort of a loving parody of that idea. I know John Scalzi he has science fiction that is very well loved, and I don't think they use the name Star Trek or anything in this book, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's inspired by, or it's pretty clear that's what it's inspired by. And I think the main character starts noticing that like everyone wearing a red shirt just kind of disappears, and I guess he starts investigating that, and there's some kind of conspiracy, and I just thought this sounded like a lot of fun. Hopefully my dad will enjoy it, and I've heard good things about this one. Generally, if I am gifting a book that I haven't actually read myself, I do pretty extensive research to make sure that it's something I think the person will like and that it's a good book. And I have one more gift that I'm going to show today. I actually am not including all of the books I'm going to be giving to friends that I know face to face, but I did throw this one in here because it's very on brand for this channel in some ways. So if I am friends with you in real life and you happen to see this, then click out of the video now. I don't know if she's watching, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name on camera, so that's why I gave you a blanket disclaimer. But the book is Shakespeare Not Stirred: Cocktails for Your Everyday Dramas. This is by Caroline Bix, PhD, and Michelle Ephraim, PhD. And this is Shakespeare inspired cocktails with funny names, and I have a friend who is also very into Shakespeare, and she's also interested in like mixed drinks and that kind of thing, so I just thought this would be really fun and really perfect for her. And of course I had to show it on this channel because it's about Shakespeare, even though I'm not like a huge drinker. The Shakespeare aspect I was like too perfect not to show. Like there's Othello's Green-Eyed Monster, Kate's Screwdriver. The chapters all have hilarious names, like Now is the Whiskey of Our Discontent. This just sounds really hilarious, and I love the fact that it's like created by what I imagine are two Shakespeare scholars. I mean, they have PhDs. I assume it's in like English literature or drama or something. So I just think this sounds really fun. Okay, everybody, so those are most of the bookish gifts that I will be giving to my loved ones this Christmas. I hope maybe it gave you some ideas, or maybe it was just fun to see some of the things that I'm gifting other people. And actually, quite a few of them, now that I'm thinking about it, do overlap with my interests in some way, so maybe it's not too off-brand for this channel, but I just thought it might be fun to kind of mix it up and to kind of do a little different take on a haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!